Hello, welcome back. Today we'll make something potentially beautiful out of these stones, this chain, and also we'll see what we can do with this spruce. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. This time I'm gonna do something quite different. I'm gonna start with a plan. Yes, let's grab a sheet of paper and draw. Okay, the plan is the following. We make a beautiful base first, then we need something where this can hang down from. So, pillars. Yeah, pillars. Yes, I'm such a good writer. Oh, this isn't writing. This stone will be there. Okay. And the chain goes up to these pillars like this. What also will look good is a circle on top of the pillars. Like this. Yeah. Beautiful. Perhaps it has collapsed from here, and there is only a collapsed pillar down here. Okay, this doesn't make any sense to you, but soon it will. Like that. Yeah, you can still judge me. But here there will be a stone circle, pillars under it, and the stone hangs down from the stone circle. Something like that. Then perhaps the spruce can be used to make some very epic pointy things from the ground. Good, now with a complete plan we can make the base. Should be easily done with cardboard. Yeah, that should do. Next, the stone pillars are made from XPS foam. I begin by cutting out a bit to work with. The glossy foam surface must be removed. I usually do it like this. Always use drawing cuts. Okay, now from this I'll cut out some pillars. I think that's quite a good thickness. So, 3 of these. And we also need one shorter. The foam is textured with a aluminum foil ball. Quite easy. I adjusted the light a bit. Here you can see the textures much better. The XPS foam I use, called Fin foam, is quite a bit stronger than the usual foam, so if you can't get a good foam, you might have to do a bit thicker pillars. But that's okay. Okay, next we can add some additional textures, like this. This shorter one is the ruined pillar, so I'll make sure to add lots of damage. Good. Good, the pillars are done. Now I'll just place these in with some PVA glue. I can then make the stone circle while we wait for these to dry. Cool. Also, a few crumbles of the ruined pillar go well here. Yeah, that's good. Let's see, I think I'll make the stone circle from 3 or 2 individual parts. Attempt number 1. Not quite. This curvature should be good. Almost. Yeah, that should do. Now I'll cut it out, like that. Not the cleanest cut, but it's good enough. It goes on top here. I'll make the next bit much longer. I can use this one as a template. Good. This grip here is quite good for cutting curved bits. The knife seems to be a bit dull now, but we can get this working. These bits are quite rough, but they fit here. They'll look better once they are textured. That should do. Yeah, I'll just texture these in the same way. Here we still have some of the glossy factory edge, so I'll make sure to remove that. Goodbye. After that, a few cuts with the blade and we should be good to go. Nice, now I'll just glue this on. Bloop, bloop, and a bloop. This one goes here, and this one goes here. Yeah, a bit of glue should fit there, along with a stick. You could also put sticks in these joints, but I believe this is strong enough. We'll see it anyway. Now I'm gonna take one of these junk pieces and do this. This piece has fallen down here. Then another fallen bit goes here. Alright, while we have some drying time to wait out, we can apply some of this sand and rubble I got from the woods. Here we've got sand, little stones, and even some pine needles. I'll just glue some of this on the base. Usually I have used chopped up pine bark, but I think it's time for a change. PVA glue and a wet brush. I think I put too much. Just to try it out, I'm gonna put some of the excess glue on the bottom here. Perhaps we can avoid warping. Anyway, on goes the stones and sand. Some of these are a bit too large. I'll remove them. After a while, it should look something like this. Yes, it is messy. I noticed it warps like crazy, so I put sticks here to avoid that. Hey, that actually worked better than expected. Great. Using force also helps. Good, now I'll let it dry. Let's hope for the best. All of the sand and stones seem to stay well on here, so there is no need to add glue in our paint mixture. Just a standard acrylic black will work. A bit of water always helps. If you use inferior foam, I suggest you paint this with a glue black mixture, By the way, this build is part of my Summer Grove Fantasy Wargaming table. Go check out the growing playlist of like-themed builds if you're interested. I'll put it somewhere here. Next I'll paint the ground real quickly, using brown first, then a greenish brown. I'm kind of blending this in with the brown. We'll see how it works. Next I'll try overbrushing with a grey. This paint has a bit of green and brown mixed into it. I haven't painted the brush. I think it will work quite well. Yeah, not bad. Okay, since I'm gonna paint the stonework quite light, I'll use the same one on here as well. Yeah, this is very efficient. Yeah, that's good. Next comes a heavy dry brush with a light grey. I'll make sure to hit some areas on the ground as well. That is a peculiar looking rock. Could you dry a bit faster, please? It is very important to have a dry brush when dry brushing. Yes, to finish the stonework I'm gonna use this matte white to dry brush with. I want the stonework to be quite light, so there is no problem if there is a bit too much paint on the brush. That's good. Hey, that's a very nice light stone paint job. As you can see, my very messy cutting wasn't that bad after all. All of the edges took the paint very well. I did a few extra rounds of just dry brushing the edges. It seemed to work well. Now I'll flock this. Glue. Homemade flocking. Poke. Flip. Fix. Seal. And clean. Also cheat. Okay, now it is time to paint the magical stone. I begin by cleaning it well using warm water and soap. I decided to base coat the stone with a off-white. My colors of choice are a purple, blue, a brighter greenish blue and white. I'll also use strong tone wash to darken some parts. Okay, so I'll make a potentially beautiful transition from purple to bright blue here, then on this side I'll make it on the other way. Purple, blue, blue, purple. I begin with the purple. If I paint up there with purple, I can add a bit of blue in here. And then I'll try to wet blend this somehow. A bit more purple. Then I put the bright greenish blue here. Okay, back again with a diluted blue. That is quite alright actually. Didn't expect it to go this well. I'll still add some purple down here. And we also need a bit more of the blue up here. Next I'll do the same on this side, but with the purple starting from here. Okay, now that I have done this a few times, it is actually quite easy to do, and quick. Very nice. Great, I still cleaned up a few spots, let it dry completely, and then worked a bit with the strong tone wash. I'll apply it a bit on the purple sides. Next step is to dry brush with a white. Just a bit of paint on the brush. Okay, here I'm just hitting the edges. I put more paint on the brush, now I'll do it like this. We can brush a bit more on the brightest part. Like that. And here... Last but not least, I'll do an edge highlight on some of these parts. If this stone gets you excited, I encourage you, get out there, find a stone, paint it and post it, or whatever. Find a twig and bark while you're at it. Good luck. The stone goes nicely here. Now I'll just paint up this chain with a matte black. Good, then I dry brush with gunmetal. Then I apply a bit of brown, just on some parts of the chain. I don't want the chain to be rusty, but it can be a bit dirty. And lastly, silver on some areas. Yeah, the chain looks good. Now I'll just have to figure out a way how to attach the stone. I think I'll try these first. If I get one of these links open, like that, I can attach it here. I'll just have to guess how big the stone is. Nope, I think this is way too small. Perhaps? No, it might be good. It's a bit tight, which is good. If you can squeeze this over... No, it snapped. Well, I'll do it a bit looser. Okay, finally, I think I got the right size. Yes. Okay, this can now hang like that. I'll snap the chain. Nice, this bit goes through here. Yeah, now we have 3 chains from which this can hang. Okay, now it's time to find the optimal hanging angle. Probably something like... Wait for it. Something like this. Yeah, that was a bit tricky, but after a while I got it into place quite nicely. With the poked in helper sticks I can adjust the position of the stone link by link. I actually like the look of these sticks so much that I'll use these sharpened and painted up sprue bits. This is certainly the most stylish way to attach my chains. To attach the chain I simply dipped these into glue and then poked them in between a chain link and applied lots of force. Good. Now these bits can be removed. I think that looks quite cool with the chain dangling around. Now if I had an airbrush I would gladly try out some object source lighting from the stone, but we'll leave that to another day. Next I want to try if I can make a good looking weapon from this spruce. I'll carve with the X-Acto knife. First I carve the piece much flatter. This will be some kind of a sword. If you try this, make sure to be careful. Don't be stupid and don't cut towards yourself like I'm doing. So I make this sword instead of the pointy things I mentioned in my detailed plan. Now the blade is starting to look like something. We got a guard and a handle. I'll call this the blade of the Sourcestone Guardian. Well, anyway, I paint this using the same colors as I've used before. A purple-blue transition for the blade, brown for the handle, and goldish for the guard. Lastly, I finish the blade with a white edge highlight and dry brush, along with some strong tone wash. Hey, that was fun. I'll glue this on once I have taken the thumbnail. Alright, a few more things. These peculiar flowers are made from paper. painted and then dry brushed. They don't look great really close up, but that's not the level I'm going for. Okay, then a few touches with dark wash and we should be set. The flesh stone seems to be doing good work here, so I'll add plenty of it on the lower parts of the pillars and on some spots on the ground. Great, now I'll just poke in the sword here. I have to admit, this is a bit shaky, but luckily I don't play with toddlers. Now let's take a look at this. In the lost lands of Summergrove, ruins are plenty, filled with treasure, free for the taking. Up to this point, all the loot has been protected by monsters and traps, but not this one. Beneath the Sourcestone monument lies a blade you dare not touch. "Abjuration magic lies heavy on this site," says the wizard. This night you choose to return to your home base, but despair not, for new adventures lie ahead. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the build. Make sure to check out more Summergrove, like, subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, and if these videos are of high value to you, perhaps you watch these every week, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. The help really goes a long way, as it allows me to invest more time and money into the channel. Next up is a new camera.